welcome to the weekly review. I'm Jamieson Blake, this is Angus Campbell, and yeah, we just really wanted to get together and discuss what's been going on in the markets over the last week. So Angus, how do you feel? I mean, obviously there's been a few swings. Yesterday was, I think, 300 points in the Dow. I mean, how do you see, I imagine it's to do with the fiscal cliff, this sort of volatility?
Yeah, it would certainly seem that's the case. It was a good move for the bulls yesterday. Of course, the markets had started off pretty negatively in Europe. You know, FTSE spent all day pretty much in negative territory, and then the US session started. They were in negative territory. Then there was some good news regarding the fiscal cliff. This is the big issue of the day at the moment, and that completely reversed those losses. Europe ended up in positive territory, and then the Dow, for example, 100-point gain, triple-digit point gain. So it's back above the 13,000 level. That was considered quite a key kind of resistance level, a bit of a psychological level as well. And even today we're seeing the continuation of that rally. So the FTSE again has pushed above 5850, and that was considered sort of near-term resistance as well. So on the whole, you know, it's as if, you know, a lot of people are talking about this Christmas rally, you know, the year-end rally that you often get in December, tends to start in November. We're seeing that now. This is the beginning of it. We could see the Dow, S&P push to their year highs and test those. You know, obviously there's still lots of risk out there. You know, this fiscal cliff issue has not been resolved yet. Certainly the market's indicating that negotiations are going well. You know, they definitely want to try and get a deal. That's what Obama has been saying, and the Republicans have been trying to reach some sort of deal. Just how that will affect the US economy is still very much an unknown. So yes, the markets have rebounded really well, and you know, we don't know whether this is the start of the Christmas rally. It's anyone's guess really. But certainly history would dictate that December is a positive month historically for the markets, and that of course is only around the corner. Last day of November tomorrow, so maybe a bit of window dressing as well, but all in all, yeah, the markets look really quite positive.
Yeah. And things like, I mean, obviously I think it was Tuesday night, the sort of, well, in the EU they came to an agreement on a bailout for Greece, but things like that seem to be going unnoticed at the moment. Is everyone? Yeah,
I wouldn't say that. I mean, you know, this week alone we saw a good Italian bond auction, a good Spanish bond auction. Both those countries' 10-year borrowing costs have really come down. In the case of Spain, lowest for their 10-year yield since March. You know, so that really goes to show that this deal in Greece, you know, many may say it's kicking the can down the road, but you know, let's kick the can down the road if it's going to take a bit of risk out of the equation, and that's helped appetite a little bit further. I think that, you know, looking into the crystal ball and looking further into next year. Of course, you've got the German elections in September, October of 2013. So what's going to happen after then, there's a bit of uncertainty, but you know, until that point, you know, it seems that investors are still very happy with the Eurozone situation as it stands, and the contagion has been, you know, sort of you know, suppressed at the moment, and so, you know, it's all looking quite good for the equity markets.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at things like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I mean, I think it's a 28% increase in sales on Black Friday, so it looks like it's going in the right direction.
Well, yeah, certainly. If you focus on the US, good numbers today. Pending home sales, absolutely fantastic. The GDP figure for Q3 was you know, revised higher and has come in higher, 2.7%. Overall, you know, of course, unemployment in America is falling. So overall, the GDP, the growth figure for US, looks better than it has been in the past. It looks like it's continually improving. So, you know, that's all supporting sentiment to some degree as well. So yeah, so for both this side of the Atlantic, well, there's, you know, big concerns about the Eurozone crisis still, but Greece has been put to bed for the time being, and in the US, you know, things look a little bit better.
And another sort of headline for this week, from our side of the Atlantic, obviously, Bank of England, new governor. What are your views on Mark Carney?
Well, not many people knew even who he was and who he is, and now they do. So, you know, he's a Canadian national but has an English wife, and he's got a very good track record, of course, being the governor of the Bank of Canada, so when his term finishes there, he'll take over from Kim next year. And all in all, generally a surprise appointment. But it looks good, really, the appointment in terms of, the Chancellor's sort of been looking outside the box. He's recruited someone who isn't sort of the normal fold of the BOE. He's got lots of banking experience. He used to work at Goldman Sachs. He's done a very good job at the Bank of Canada. Managed to keep their banking crisis insulated and away from being affected by the big banking crisis. So all in all, rather a good appointment by the seams. By the way it looks. Of course, we'll see how things work over his 5-year term, which is less than the usual 8-year term. So we will have to wait and see. But on the face of it, it looks like quite a good appointment.
Yeah, good stuff. So, to summarise the week as a whole, then, sort of moving forward, do you think potentially could be the start of the sort of Santa Claus rally?
Yeah, of course, I'm none the wiser, but historically, of course, December's been a positive month for equity markets, so there's a feeling that year-end rally is starting to commence, and that's why we're seeing quite a bit of bullishness, I think, around the markets.
So if we're saying that if I get my longs on now and they go wrong,
I'm to blame.
Okay.
Yeah, although we don't give advice.
Obviously not. No advice taken.
Thank you, Jamie.
No worries, Angus. Thanks for your time.